Hello, welcome. My name is Steph. If you'd like to come on in and have a seat for some short and sweet symbolic support, we are going to flip the scroll to scry for shapes and symbols that may speak to our psyche and psychic senses, and we'll add on a few oracle cards along the way. When you are ready, if you are new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. I truly appreciate any interactions with the channel. Drop an emoji, all that kind of good stuff, or comment what you see, sense, or feel. Here's a close-up if you want to take a screenshot. Okay, so I'm seeing palm trees. I'm seeing very large angels. Like ascended master kind of stuff. Or what I would call an ascended master. They feel very angelic nonetheless. And I don't favor anything. But that's just how they feel. They feel very large. They feel, maybe they're, aliens, Palladians, Octurians. I don't need to worry about it. Okay, so I know from the other side scry, and I'll put the link below if you're interested in, because it was something about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and I wish it was a little bit taller. And now I understand that a little bit more. It's like I want to be as tall as you. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I came down to earth and I feel very small. I almost feel insignificant, if I may, especially in connection or comparison to these very large beings that I feel are, in some way, shape, or form. I know them. I don't know who they are, but I feel like if I, being a guest in the you space, the I space that we share, I feel like I know them. And now do I think something's a punishment? Sorry, give me a moment. Do I think something's a punishment? Like I was sent here as a punishment? This is very peculiar. Okay, so I can definitely land in wondering the concept of like this prison planet, but I don't want to do that. But I can understand how some could feel that. Again, these twins, there's something about growing up together. Oh, I'm actually growing over there. Thanks. The time and age you were born. Again, it's still coming through the other side scry. And the link will be below. Okay, so there's a cloak coming off. I don't know if at some point in time some sort of cloak is coming off. The best I can describe it is it feels as though kind of like a veil, some form of clarity. Okay, so that's interesting. Imagine being blindfolded, but it's not like stark dark. This kind of feels like, say, from this higher self, spirit, soul space into human form. You feel blindfolded. I can see, but I can't quite see. But you get accustomed to this, so it's like your eyes adjust. Your eyes adjust. And then, but it almost, yeah, okay. And then these very large beings, ascended masters, maybe it's your higher self. I'm not going to constipate myself trying to figure out who they are, but they come and take this cloak thing off. And while it's like you got to take a moment. And that moment could be a few months, it could be a few seconds, it could be a few breaths, it could be a few years, it could be decades of adjusting your eyes now that the cloak thing is off. The cloth. Okay. So it's like, I'm doing this, but I feel like there's a little bit of this. It's like, oh, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, yeah, that feels well. I'm also seeing penguins down here, and very specifically, and I can't remember what the point was. Forgive me, but Pengu. sorry, I'm at the side of my head here for a moment. The Joker is coming through from Batman, this fake smile, or drawn on smile. I feel like I might have come through. Okay, so it kind of brings me up into this. Maybe it was even the way I grew up. The circumstances, the environments, the people, places, or things that raised me. And I'm not going to go out, pointing fingers and anything like that. But I am, because something's come off. And I understand the purpose. I understand the reasoning. I understand, or at least I'm willing to see and understand the conditions that were created, that I was born into, and how they were a benefit to me versus what I felt might have been a hindrance. Does that make sense? I'm seeing the fish from American Dad. What's his name? Feel free to tell me below. I can't always remember when I'm here in the liminal space. And so there's like some sort of science experiment. That's why he's a fish. And that's what it kind of feels like in this whole thing. I feel as though I was part, like how, for heavens and hot dogs, what was his name? Okay, it's not the point. I'm going to call him Fish. He was human and then became a fish. So like you're like this angelic, alien, massive, ascended master being, and you're brought into a fish, and now you're in a bowl, and it feels like I'm in a bowl, in a fish bowl, and I can't go anywhere, but yet he finds his way, takes his other little different bowls and stuff. That's what this feels like. But the penguins are standing out to me very specifically, I think, in relation to some sort of, I don't know in the physical world what their mating is or their dedication, but there's something about that. It's the plus and the minus of it all. Whether it's, with another person, or platonic, and I don't mean to be like, whatever. No, just, I don't want to constipate on it. Your resonance of relationships, however they land. Your relationship with earth, your relationship with the water when you wash your dishes, your relationship with the weather, your relationship with your boss. And it goes on and on and on. Partners, this, that, and the other. Because I have here on the bottom that there is something that I might have been resisting. And I feel like I'm kind of right behind it. I was resisting playing. Or maybe I feel like I didn't have the opportunity to play because I felt punished. And now I get to play with other people, other penguins, other crows. It doesn't matter what form they take. I know them. There's also this air from the other side scrying. It's stepping forward, so I'm going to acknowledge it. Because everyone in this age has been planted for a particular time and era of Earth. And I don't know if also for others it has like, I don't know how to say it uber compassionately, but I'll do my best. It's the same air of that one example of being like higher self, and now you're, human in the fish. Having what is that show? It would be so much more helpful if I could remember what I'm seeing. Okay, People of Earth. It's actually a different show I was seeing, but it's a much nicer way of saying it, so I appreciate that. People of Earth. It's like you have space siblings. Okay, all right. Other spirits that have been in other time frames existing, whatever these big beings are, because you are part of these big beings. But right now it's your time to be here. Don't resist playing in this time frame. Please play with this. It's not a punishment. Things are always left for the next generation type thing. Now, here's the thing when I say that. There's something very particular. It's unseen and unknown. It's like spiritual gifts, but they're not what we think it is. It's in the air of that. It's like the mystic of it. The mysticism of, I don't know of what, of being here, of existing, of playing, of being. This partnership of penguins. It's like the reminders. I have here mimicry. You know me, I read the art first. I'm going to get ready to close out, and I'll take one more card to help close out. Yeah, thank you. Okay. You know how they say in these penguins playing, you be, I don't know, adapt or become more of your company, right? That's why people become more like each other, or you can see more of yourselves in other people as you invest and connect, because you're exchanging and adopting and adapting. And this is a compliment. You know what is that saying when you're young? And I know it, like being the oldest, it's like, oh, my little sister's copying everything I do. And your mom or dad or your auntie, your uncle, your grandma would say it's because they admire you. It's a compliment. Now, while there's sometimes discernment always for the wise one, tip of the hat to you, just because people learn to, or others, or whatever the case is, learn how to speak your language, know and have been observing you, so they know how to like get past your guards. So your discernment and protection of this mimicry with this German Shepherd, because I'm seeing it like a drug dog, like a police dog. They can sniff things out. If anyone is mimicking to gain access to play in this community, they will meet resistance. There's also like little minds of sorts, and I don't mean that in an explosive way, but they're opportunities for them to purify their intention of why they are here with you in your community. There's so much honoring what's going on. So there's so much about this remembering. And this is why this community that maybe you're in, that you are connected to, feels really well and safe to play in. It's almost like even like having one of those resistance swimming pools where it's just like a swimming pool, but they blow the jets at you. It's like it's contained resistance to help us strengthen in this community that we're playing in. And while mimicry and commonalities of language and stuff is a compliment, the point is actually not to assume it as one's own, but as an inspiration to play even more with this massive protection, and to have that dog there to sniff any sort of like peculiar vibes. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Until next time.